With the first 3 episodes having premiered last week, Invincible is out in full throttle on Amazon Prime, and they were kind enough to allow me an early look at the upcoming episode, which is coming out tomorrow on Prime Everywhere. So without any further ado, and without any spoilers, let's talk about the 4th episode of Invincible. Tensions continue to rise as Nolan starts to feel the pressure from Cecil Stedman and Damien Darkblood, who are each leading their own investigations on him and to what actually happened to the Guardians of the Globe. Now, if you have not seen my review of the first 3 episodes, you can find it right here, and let me know your thoughts on that as well. But also let me know how excited you are for the rest of Invincible coming to Prime Video. Every single Friday I'll have early reviews for all the episodes, so stay tuned for that. And to stay tuned, consider clicking the subscribe button if you haven't yet. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ren. I do movie reviews, series reviews, anime reviews, trailer reaction, and all that sorts of great geek stuff. So make sure to click the subscribe button if you don't want to miss any of the future content I will have on this channel. So there's a lot that I cannot talk about when it comes to this episode because there are specific spoiler points that I do not want to ruin for you. But what I like in this episode from the get-go is how Mark and Nolan's relationship works, because from now on, and this will include spoilers for the previous episodes, it's very clear that Nolan is hiding something. And I like that the episode basically starts with them doing a race throughout the world. They're doing a race to see who gets to Mount Everest first, and then they do a race to see who gets home first, and they have this bet of whoever comes in last has to do the dishes or take out the garbage for a month or a week or whatever it is. And I really like that loving father-son relationship, but I also really like that there's a bit of tension throughout all of these scenes because you feel very obviously that Nolan is hiding something. And I don't exactly know what Omni-Man is hiding. I'm keeping away from the comic until the show is over, at least season 1, because I want to absorb all of this blind. And being blind to what is about to come creates for great tension in all of these scenes because, again, the characters were built up great and they continue to develop in a great way. And things right now with Mark are going right. His superhero life is going great, his personal life is going great, in school, having a girlfriend, and you can just feel that the tension is also building there because if things are going right, they won't be going right for too much longer. And in general, this episode does a great job at keeping that intrigue and suspense building and brewing because the investigation is led by Cecil Stedman and Damien Darkblood, who, by the way, voiced by Clancy Brown. This dude is such a great voice actor. I already love this character. He's probably my favorite character, and I cannot wait to see what they do with him, especially with what happens with him in this episode. I just love dark, brooding characters that keep to themselves. There are lone wolves, and Damien Darkblood really feels like a mix between Hellboy and Batman, and so he's right up my alley to be my favorite character. When it comes to Stedman, he wants to try and get Omni-Man on his own and out of the planet to investigate him, so he tries to send him to Mars on a mission, but eventually, of course, Omni-Man dodges this, and eventually Mark ends up going to Mars himself. And what happens there is also very interesting. Cannot talk about it too much, but it's something that, again, it's those seeds that are planted and you're allowed to be invested in them long run. Because it's a small seed, but you can see that it will grow into something big for the overarching story of this season. I'm also very interested in what is going on with Robot, because after the 3rd episode we get that ending of him letting the Maul brothers, the Mauler twins, go, and this episode again gives us a little bit more. Again, it's those seeds that are planted and you can see that they will eventually grow and have big, hopefully at least, big payoffs by the end of the season. I'm really enjoying Invincible. I think this is exactly the point where we should still be building things up because coming next week we are going to be on the latter half of the season. This will only be 8 episodes. This is the 4th episode, so I think by now we've reached our midway point, so we should probably at this point see every direction that the characters should be going into for the rest of the season. Another great scene in this episode, before we finish this off, is Nolan having lunch with his wife, and he's talking to her about trusting him. And something happens, and he clearly has the wrong priority in that moment. And I love it. It's such a tense scene, and yet on the surface, it's just a conversation between a husband and a wife. It shouldn't be anything special, and yet the way the show builds and executes this, the writing is so good, the voice acting is phenomenal. I am really loving this show. The fourth episode of Invincible might feel slow for some. It might feel like the most uneventful episode, but what I enjoyed in this the most was seeing those seeds being planted to grow and have big payoffs later this season. I think we can start to clearly, or more clear than before, see where these characters are going, what the true intentions are. We can start theorizing. So speaking of theorizing, I'm throwing it over to you. What do you think of Invincible episode 4? If you're watching this after the episode came out, how are you feeling about the show thus far? If you are seeing this before episode 4 came out, let me know all of that in the comments below. And again, stay tuned for all the Invincible coverage coming every week. I hope to see you in those. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet, but you watched this far, consider clicking the subscribe button. It helps me, it helps the channel, and it makes you stay tuned for every time I upload more content, be it movie reviews, show reviews, animated series reviews, animated reviews, and much more. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. I'll see you very soon, and so till the next one, love each other and love the movies.